Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep buying more. You forgot we on the float blind, 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. If you don't mean a thing, water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding till we're blue. Monkey magic coming through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more zen than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggle. Cause we just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon gang.
Let's try this one out. Moon gang.
Hello. Welcome back, all my astronauts, my apetronauts, whatever you want to call yourselves today. I hope you are having an absolutely phenomenal morning, evening, afternoon, night. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing, but hey, let's talk about some moon stuff. Let's talk about a little bit of space travel. Some exciting things going on, and I mean, we're going to get into it heavily, but SHIB is taken off. If you are here because you are a proud member of the SHIB army, let me know. Hashtag SHIB army. Let's get something going in chat. Let's get everyone a little bit excited today. Let's see what's going on. I want to know how many people in here are particularly excited that over the past, I don't know, day, SHIB has successfully run a nice 35%. 35% in a day. A nice technical breakout heading to a region of resistance. If we get this break above 60, man, oh man. I'm excited. But before we get into all the, I guess, stuff going on in the stock market, the cryptos market, let me give you a quick update of what's going on in the market of Matt Kohrs' health. So right before this, minutes ago, I was attempting to fix my nasal congestion, and a friend of mine had suggested it's like a neti pot, but it's like a neti pot on steroids. Basically, you fill up this contraption with like a saline solution, like warm water, a saline solution, and it has like 2 plugs, and you like just shove it into your face and you turn it on, and it's just like water in, water out, and it's just going through your like nasal cavity. I forget the name of it. It starts with an N, but in and out. I felt like I was like, it's like a very loud and it goes on for quite a while. I felt like it was like trying to like drown a robot. Like it was weird, and I just like it was like on the edge of drowning, but not actually drowning. Apparently, that's how you fix your sinuses. Is like you walk right up to the edge of like, we might murder you, but we're not going to, and in the end, we're gonna help you out with like your congestion. So it was a weird experience, and I don't know if I did it right. I don't know if you're supposed to be like water slowly coming out of your throat and you questioning where you've gone wrong in life, but it was one of those types of deals. So maybe I didn't do it right. I'll keep you updated on that. Anywho, let's talk about some stock stuff. So as you can see, red, and some red. Oil's down, so in a certain way you could say that's actually good. We're at $67 a barrel, but everything is red across the board, and this actually just came out right now. Home prices hikes finally slow down, according to S&P Case-Shiller. Shiller? Are we going to believe this? I mean, shill's in the name. I don't know. We'll leave that up to someone else. Home prices rose 19.5% in September year over year, down from a 19.8% annual gain in August. The 10-city composite rose 17.8% from a year ago, down from an 18.6% gain in August. The 20-city composite gained 19.1% year over year, down from 19.9%. Cities with the highest price increases were Phoenix, Tampa, and Miami. Now, if you are a homeowner in Phoenix, Tampa, Miami, congratulations. If you are a home buyer in Phoenix, Tampa, Miami, that's a tough break. That is definitely a tough break for you there. So the hot buzz from yesterday was Cyber Monday online sales. Unfortunately, they were a little bit lower, but not too bad. 1.4% from last year to 10.7 billion. I mean, we're still talking almost $11 billion, falling for the first time ever. Now, I think that's the interesting part. So on Black Friday, sales were down, but kind of expected. People not really returning to their normal purchasing habits, going out. But this Cyber Monday, it's kind of like, well, everyone's home anyway. This is interesting. I'm trying to make sense of it, but the fact that this is the first Cyber Monday to go down, not the biggest drop, 1.4%, but down nonetheless. When anything, if Black Friday was down, you would think that Cyber Monday is going to be higher, especially if everyone's going to be doing their, indoor shopping. So it really kind of makes you wonder, all right, are retail not feeling as comfortable as previous earnings reports suggested? So before we had Kohrs, we had Macy's, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target. All of those beat. All of those were looking pretty solid. And at a certain point, that was flagging, hey, no, the retail public's comfortable. They are spending. Consumers are doing what consumers do. They're consuming. But this is kind of a piece of news that's a little bit different. It's saying, actually, maybe not. So I don't know. We're getting some differing information. I wouldn't say one is necessarily right. And obviously the key piece of data, because like I said, all these other big spenders, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Kohrs, Macy's, those are just a few of them that I'm thinking of. They all did well. So spending was abnormal there, but it's abnormally high there, but it's abnormally low here on Cyber Monday. Kind of interesting. A little conflicting data. Just want to bring this on your radar. But really, what's driving the market right now is everything related to the new variant. I realized in my update video yesterday that I'm not allowed to say that word, apparently. So I made a YouTube video yesterday, just a market update, and I said this word and the C word. I said the O word and the C word a couple too many times, apparently, and I think a couple too many is literally just above zero, and YouTube is like, no way, no how. We are not promoting this video. We don't trust people in t-shirts talking about the O word or the C word in their basement. So kind of interesting. We'll have to think of the way of how we started talking about marinara to not get in trouble with YouTube. We're going to have to think of a fancy way to talk about the C word and the O word, but the O word as it's related to the C word is causing a lot of people, at first they were really nervous last week. Over the weekend it was fine. And now we are returning back to being apparently scared, and it relates to the CEO of Moderna. telling the Financial Times he expects a material drop in current vaccine effectiveness against the O word. Oh man, I got to think of something. Whatever this is, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm highlighting it right now. But hey, YouTube overlords, I'm trying to play ball with you, but we'd appreciate a little less censorship. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching on Rumble, where I'm a little bit more free to be myself. A little bit more free. But anyway, so this is why. It was negative, positive, and we're back into the negative. People are worried about the effectiveness, and to my understanding, or what makes sense, the reasoning in my mind, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, the amount of mutations on this, someone just said a Decepticon, the Decepticon variant here, quite a few differences. So a lot of these variants, it's a minimal amount. This particular one has over 30 different, and as it gets farther and farther away from like the original one that we have the vaccine for, it does make sense that it's less effective. That's the reasoning that people are putting out there. Obviously with this, you got to do your own research. You got to figure out what's best for you and your family. I'm just trying to talk a little bit about like the science of what's going on. In addition, preliminary tests of current Rona antibody drug cocktails from Regeneron and Eli Lilly indicated less effectiveness against the new variant. So yes, right now, people are starting to talk about what's going on. Just before I started, the first Decepticon case was found in Japan. And I also believe the first one might have been found in the Netherlands. That was reported early this morning. So things to consider, pay attention to. In no way do I think it's healthy to fearmonger and be like, this is it, this is the end. No, let's be realistic. Let's stay on top of it. It's going to take about 2 weeks, to my understanding, to get good, viable data of where we can see the efficacy of certain vaccines. We could see the transmission rate. Hopefully we never find out the data of like mortality rate. I'd prefer to not even have to know those numbers. Let's try to be our best to be realistic. Let's not sweep it under the rug and say it's absolutely nothing, but let's also say it's not like the Black Plague. Let's try to be realistic, stay on top of the numbers, and then understand how it's going to have an impact on the market and where we see potential opportunity. Pretty much all 5 of the major updates today are going to end up relating to the Decepticon variant. Fed's pal to tell Senate new variant poses risk to economy. So this is happening today at 10 a.m. Jerome Powell, the re-elected federal chair, and the Treasury Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, will be speaking at 10 a.m. to the Senate. This is some, I guess, already commentary from Powell. The recent rise in Rona-19 cases and the emergence of the Decepticon variant pose downside risks to employment and economic activity and increase uncertainty for inflation. Greater concerns about the virus could reduce people's willingness to work in person, which could slow progress in the labor market and intensify supply chain disruptions. So this was prepared remarks that, like, obviously he'll go in more detail, but these were already public prepared remarks that it's going to be stated today in front of the Senate. Once again, that starts at 10 a.m. FDA panel to consider Merck's COVID antiviral pill. If that goes through, obviously Merck stock will go to the moon. Biden says he doesn't expect more travel restrictions or lockdowns. Let's hope that it stays that way. If anything, I think that's just, hey, you're calming people down, like attempting to not fearmonger commentary. I don't anticipate that at this point. In reference to any additional lockdown, the degree of variant spread will determine whether more travel restrictions are necessary. So we got to stay on top of it. But speaking of supply chain and all that related stuff, FTC orders Walmart and Amazon to provide supply chain information. They're attempting to see. This is very interesting. This jumped out at me. I was like, that's weird. Why does the FTC, why is it jumping in on Walmart and Amazon? And at first right here, the goals of the study are to determine if supply chain problems have led to particular bottlenecks. And right here, so that's like the nice thing of like, okay, like we're just trying to see like what's going on. Maybe we could help out. But really, anti-competitive practices or higher prices. So almost if in the craziness of the world, if Walmart and Amazon have been like engaging in anti-competitive practices, I would assume that the answer is yes, because like when you see an opportunity as a big business, they're going to take it. Very interesting that the FTC is looking into it. I don't know if this storyline has any legs. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but it would be interesting. And I thought it was noteworthy that they included this and that the FTC is looking into them, Walmart, Amazon, for anti-competitive practices. Muscling out the little guy, I suppose. All right. Before we get into some of the other, I guess, crypto-related stuff, right now, AMC trading at 36.40, GME at 202.50, and we have Prague at 303. One quick comment on Prague: it was awarded an additional patent this morning. This one related to the counting of, I believe, nucleic acid model. So another fancy schmancy big brain patent for Prague. And on top of that, I think Tesla also got 3 patents. One of them related to solar panels, the other one related to batteries, and the third one, I forget what that patent is, honestly. So those are some patent announcements. So Prague got an announcement, Tesla got 3 patents. In terms of AMC and GME from Ortex, the short interest on AMC is estimated to be 16.3%, utilization 74, shares on loan about 86 million. In terms of GME, it is up to 11.3%, utilization 28, shares on loan 6.4. Now, I addressed this a little bit yesterday, more so in the update video, and people right away they're doing that thing where they're like, hey, I want views and I'm going to sell you bullshit to get those views. What I'm referring to is people are using the FinViz data of saying that it has a short interest of 115%. It's the chance of that being accurate is extraordinarily low. And my reasoning for that is we have data from November 15th that puts the short interest at 11%. This is stating that from November 15th until now, it's gone up by 100%. Is it theoretically possible? Yes. Is it at all likely? No. And on top of that, I just don't believe it because no other data source is confirming this 115% besides FinViz. It seems to be a data error. So I'm not saying it's absolutely wrong. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely. And what I did yesterday was I emailed FinViz to ask them. I said, hey, where's your data? Is this an error? How often do you update it? So as soon as FinViz gets back out to me, I will let you know. But beyond this, I don't think this is like a one-off thing. I think it's a platform thing because don't just stop at GameStop. I looked at GameStop, I looked at AMC, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft. All of them were off. Every single one was off. None of the short interest of free float reports on FinViz matched anything else anywhere. Which tells me something is a little bit wonky. It wasn't specific to one stock. It was, like I said, there was a degree of error across all of, I checked like 10 different ones, and none of them seemed to match up with the Bloomberg reports, with Ortex, with S3. None of them were matching up. So the fact that it's one thing if it's in the ballpark because, yes, there's like a certain degree of error and a certain degree of your own predictive model. But when something is completely outside of the realm of S3, Ortex, and unusual whales, if it's not even in the realm of those three, it makes me really, really question it. But once again, I don't know. As soon as FinViz gets back out to me, I'll let you know what they say. But I emailed them yesterday to ask what was going on. But as of now, I prefer to use a combination of the numbers between unusual whales, S3, and Ortex. I think those three are very good data providers. And like when we kind of see that they're all somewhat in agreement, they're never going to be spot on. But when they're somewhat in agreement, I'm going to take the combination of those three numbers over the one-off numbers from FinViz, especially because that's a free service and short interest data is extremely expensive. So I don't think they're going to be giving out accurate information for absolutely free. It's very, very expensive. But once again, when we get the update, I'll let you know. I will let you all know. let's talk a little bit about crypto. The belle of the ball, Bitcoin, technical breakout right here, 58,000. I like this. It was downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. We bounced off of 53,000. We got the technical breakout. The first thing I'm really looking for this confirmation is for it to get over 59,445. When Bitcoin gets above that, closes above it on whatever time frame bar you're at, I'm going to be very excited. Ethereum looking great. It's pushing 4,700 right now, 4,660. A little bit, instead of the downtrend, it was sideways trading. I'm looking for the break above 45. Would love it to see, like, it looks like it's on its way back to testing the all-time high just below 5,000. SHIB, phenomenal. But before we get into that, Solana also looking good. Solana bouncing off of 190 at 215. I want to watch this 230, 235 level. Matic making its way back to hopefully $2. We have Loopring kind of flat right now. Would love to see this get back above 3. We have Cardano right now downtrending to 160. So I think there's a little bit of like information that's getting overstated about Cardano. I'm still in Cardano. I'm not giving up on Cardano. But right here, eToro to delist Cardano by 2022 for US users due to regulatory concerns. So that's all it is. By the start of 2022, users will no longer be able to open new positions in the tokens or stake them. Additionally, wallets holding the assets will effectively be in withdrawal only mode until the first quarter of 2022, when the selling will also become liquidated. So eToro, if you look into the number of it, eToro doesn't really represent a large amount of Cardano trading. So I think it's not a drop in the bucket, but it's pretty similar to it. And it's literally just for the US people with regulatory concerns. But once again, most Cardano is not transacted through eToro. If you look at the US residents using eToro for Cardano, it's a drop in the bucket. So yes, this is not fake news, but I think it's kind of small news, and it's just kind of being, I think, in a certain sense, blown up as like headlines, like Cardano being delisted, when you really dive into it, and it's by no means the end of the world. I still very much believe in the project, and in fact, check this out. The 4 cryptocurrencies to watch in 2022. So SHIB, which we're about to get into more detail about what's going on right now. But all of these are just kind of competitors to Ethereum. They're all strong utility-based crypto options. Solana, have it. Cardano, have it. Avalanche, don't have it, want it, will be buying it soon. But all of these are utility coins, like with their own little twist, but they all basically, if you think about Ethereum and the fact that it's utility, and that's what gives it all these options of like all the dApps, all the NFTs, the DeFi exchanges. This technology, in my humble opinion, is going absolutely nowhere. Now, Ethereum is the first mover advantage. It's very popular. Even right now, if we just looked at NFTs, most NFTs are built on top of Ethereum as of now. But Ethereum, the gas fees, any transactions, they're expensive, and it's a little bit slow. Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, they are all looking to be superior in one of the downfalls of Ethereum. So once again, all 4 of the ones we're talking about, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, I am bullish on all of them. I think there is a space for all of them in the future. Maybe some of them do better than the other ones, but I'm very particularly excited because, in my opinion, especially coming from the tech world, this is where I see technology heading. I am a big fan of all of these projects just because I think that's where technology, society, and culture is all heading, is to end up using these, maybe not all of them, but probably most of these strong, well-known utility coins somehow in the future. But Fortune is calling out that those 3 on top of SHIB are worthwhile to watch in 2022. And out of all the ones we're discussing, the only one I currently don't have is Avalanche, but I will be buying it. I was just waiting to get in on a discount. So SHIB right now trading at 52.50, up around 35% in the past day. Nice technical breakout, heading to a region of resistance. Not only is that, but obviously, Ethereum right now having a breakout, Bitcoin looking good, Solana right here. Oop, let me switch this back over for you. Let me put Solana in the bottom right. Solana looking solid, but this one, abnormal, nice percentage gains. What's going on with SHIB? Well, this is not the main news, but important news nonetheless. Newegg to accept SHIB cryptocurrency as form of payment on Newegg.com in time for holidays. So kind of lining up with AMC. AMC accepting SHIB. Now Newegg is. That's good news. I like the adoption from well-respected businesses. So that's positive news, but the main news is right here. Shiba Inu soars more than 20% after crypto exchange Kraken's listing, while a SHIB whale scoops up $1 million worth in tokens. So if you rewind to November 1st, Kraken put out a tweet, and they basically, with the response to the tweet, they said we would be listing it pretty much instantaneously. Did not happen. It got pushed off till today. Today, she will start trading on Kraken, and obviously people are very excited about it. Kraken is a very large exchange, and people who have accounts on it that may have wanted SHIB previously now have access to getting it. Shiba Inu rallied 20% on Tuesday, bucking a wider crypto sell-off after Kraken listed the coin, but right now all of crypto is actually bouncing. The Dogecoin-inspired token is now tradable on Kraken against the US dollar and euro. On top of that, just a little bit about Dogecoin. Elon said, I like a good wine or something like that. He tweeted that out, and people are saying that that is actually related to Dogecoin. I don't quite see the connection. I guess like if you're referring to like the sell-off in Dog's Wine, but he likes that. I don't know. A little bit weird, but yes, Elon is at it again. Beyond that, separate data showed a SHIB whale bought 24.8 billion tokens for around $1 million. The further price of the coin will be influenced by several factors at once, one of which is listing on large exchanges such as Robinhood. If they support Shiba, then we may see new price records. So, you know me, I am bearish on Robinhood. Most of the things I do not agree with, I don't like. I don't know why anyone really uses it, but I do admit if Robinhood makes the decision to list SHIB, I think that will be a benefit to SHIB. So even me, completely hating Robinhood, I do see some of its decisions to be positive, especially if you're a member of the SHIB army. So be on the lookout for that. There was previous commentary from their earnings announcement that like a lot of people in the earnings announcement at the start of November thought Robinhood was going to announce it, and it didn't. So people were like, well, kind of questioning it. And I don't know why they're dragging their feet, especially because the company Robinhood is hemorrhaging money. It's not a good situation. It's a dumpster fire of a situation, in fact. And I actually view them listing SHIB as a smart business move to try to help save one of their quarters, but we'll have to see and see if they decide to do that. Aside from Kraken's decision to list Shiba Inu, a crypto whale nicknamed Gimli bought 24.8 billion SHIB tokens Monday in a purchase worth $1 million. The wallet now holds 274 billion Shiba Inus valued at around $13.8 million. That's pretty crazy. That's actually super, super crazy. And those numbers are nuts. And I think it's hard for us to even conceptualize how big those numbers are. But don't forget about that one account around 450 days ago now that they turned $8,000 worth of Ethereum into SHIB back when it was dirt cheap, and it's now worth like $5 billion. It's insane. Some of these, I don't even know, like some of these things are beyond a YOLO play. Like we need to think of a word that really, I guess, captures the entire ethos of a play that's like beyond just YOLO, like $8,000 into 5 billion, and then we have this guy who has 274 billion, a $14 million play. This is absolutely nuts. But between Newegg, the pop in crypto, and SHIB finally going on Kraken and maybe potentially going on Robinhood, that's exactly why you're seeing this enthusiasm. Now, from a technical perspective, I think that we are looking in this region between 56 and 60. That is my next, I guess, pit stop. I want to see how SHIB reacts to it, a break above 60. And I think there could be an extreme amount of enthusiasm within this token. I really, really do. I'm watching the resistance at 56. I think it could mess around here. Another additional resistance at 60. And then from there, I guess we could watch a little bit of 65, but I'd be watching 78 after that. And then after 78, hopefully from there, we start knocking off some of the zeros. That would be obviously an ideal outcome. Ideal. But just because of the enthusiasm and the people who are very excited about what's going on, we're going to leave SHIB up in the bottom right here just to see what's going on when the market gets going. Actually, in about a minute. Man, that was a long intro. A long intro. Let's get ready. We are 20 seconds out. What do we have here? Don't forget, William Volk has joined the SHIB game team, former VP of Tech at Activision Call of Duty, William Volk. Oh, that's awesome. Dill, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't catch that news. Let me open this up. Shiba Inu game. Can we discuss the SHIB game developer? That's awesome. All right, we're going to dive into that article right after the market goes dingity ding ding ding. Let's get going, folks. The casino is open. All right. Lucid also worthwhile to be on your watch list right now. Lucid is strong at 55. Strong at 55. Folks, if you haven't already, just very quickly, a friendly reminder, if you could help me out with the YouTube algorithm, don't forget to drop a like. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Liking, subscribing, completely free. Just helps me out with the algorithm. If you're on Twitch, if you want to hit that follow button. If you're on Rumble, if you want to hit that subscribe button and the Royal Rumble button. All that type of stuff is completely free, and it just helps me out with the related algorithms to get this stuff in front of additional people. I appreciate you. Prague looking a little green on the patent news. Lucid also looking strong. All right. Man, Lucid strong, AMC strong, GME at 203. Patience. What else do we have? Prague up 6.4%. Prague has some distance to make back up. I would love for this to get above that like 340, 350 area. Hopefully test $5. Could SHIB realistically hit 1 cent in the next year? No. Not at. You need to burn more. The burn rate needs to increase at the current amount of supply. No, it would be not just the most valuable crypto, but it would be like the most valuable crypto. And then like you could add the number 2, 3, and 4 and like 5 together. The supply needs to go down. So could it hit that? The answer is yes, if they burn, but not at the current supply. And they are actively burning. I'm not trying to say that they aren't burning, but like to answer your question, like right now, everything held constant. Do I see it hitting 1 cent? No, we need to be realistic about the supply and the total market cap of SHIB. So to get there, we need the continuation of coin burning, token burning, technically. Good morning, Lord Thickums. I've made a bet with Twitch chat that if Prague closes below 320 today, I'll shave my beard on stream, and I don't babyface. Meme maker. All right, 320 is the line. Let's set up the meme maker line. 320 is the bet line. Sorry to have to break the news to everyone, but if you can smell a fart through your mask, you're not safe as you think. You are. They're lying. Doge man Dan. Name it. Oh, brother. What's going on, Shannon? Instead of the O word, call it Futurama. That's the name of the alien race from the cartoon. Search O word Futurama. All right, I'll check that out. Thoughts on the Prague new patent? I mean, good. Solid. I mean, I don't know how it would be interpreted in like a negative light, honestly. I think that's solid news. Don't forget your tea, folks. Tea time with Matt. I have a quick question for you. Just from this morning's enthusiasm, a lot of people are interested in SHIB, and before we've talked about Avalanche and Solana and some Cardano and when Ethereum gets going. If I can fit it into my schedule, would you folks be a fan of like a standalone like 30-minute crypto show? So like the main stock show in the morning, 9 to 11, and then we have the power hour show of whatever's going on, either midday or maybe after the power hour show, maybe like an evening, like a 30-minute like crypto show, like what's going on in the world of crypto, the way we do what's going on in the world of stock, like a quick, like, here's what you need to know about crypto today. All right, we're seeing some fan of that. All right, we could do that. Someone asked me to switch back to GME. I have no issue keeping it. It's just, it's not being traded right now. Like, it's trading. It's just low volume. Crypto only. Okay. I'll have to talk to a little bit of my team about that, of like the nice times. So what would you prefer in terms of time slot? Would you like a midday one? Let's refer to East Coast time. Would you like it between the morning show and the power hour show, or do you want it in the evening? What time makes the most sense? Like an evening wrap up or like a midday crypto show? Evening, midday, 5 to 8 p.m. Evening, between. All right, this one seems to be a little bit split. I'll do a poll. I'm not seeing a... We'll do a poll. All right. I just did a poll if you want to answer it that. Someone just said 3 a.m. And just super inconvenient for everyone involved, including myself. Midday, I get so bored without listening to Thickster. What works best for me? Don't worry about me. I'm here. I'm here to entertain and provide value to you guys. I'm just the court gesture. Someone asked for GME or text, please. Yeah, it's around 11.3%. A stark difference from FinViz. And as of now, I believe that FinViz is actually wrong. And my reasoning for that is it's very different than Unusual Whales, S3, and Ortex. If you're very different than those three, I just don't buy it. That AK Shiba play was a Yomo. You only Messiah once. Evening is nighttime in Europe. Yeah, I guess I need to. But then it's probably more reasonable for like the West Coast people. Oh man, this is close. 56%. VeChain. Someone is asking for VeChain. What's going on, Camille? I actually own some VeChain. VeChain's looking decent on the 15-minute. I very much like this pattern of higher lows. We're at the point where you want to see it get above, let's just call it 15. VeChain, watch the line in the sand around 15 and hopefully a continuation of this upward channel. VeChain. I own this. I like it. It's not my biggest holding by any means, but I'm still a fan of it for sure. For sure. All right, SHIB looking good. Prong, what do we have? That's Lucid is even coming down now. Tesla up to 1,155. The market selling off. The SPY is selling off. Q's down. IWM down. Rivian hit 121 down to 118 now. Nvidia, Hood. Man, stocks are not liking the opening right now whatsoever. Maybe we should just focus on these two, Prague and SHIB. Yo, Duck Boy, top of the morning. Thoughts on APVO? APVO. Does not look that good to me. A biotech company that is just selling off. I'm not a fan of the technicals on this. If you know something about the fundamentals, that might change the story, but I'm not a fan of what I see in the daily chart. NAUT, your thoughts on NAUT? NAUT. Same thing. Biotech company that's selling off. I just don't see demand. I just don't see buyers stepping in. The buyers are getting crushed. The sellers are overwhelming. In fact, it's never made a new relative high, just selling. Did the shorts cover on Prague? I'll bring up the Ortex numbers on Prague to see where the shorts are at. Prague. According to Ortex, the estimated Prague short interest is 9%. But going off of that, I want to clarify, for me and Prague, I just think it's an undervalued company. Like if it squeezes, that's awesome. I'm not against it squeezing, but I'm not in it for a squeeze. I'm in it similarly to, like, I guess in a way, my like long-term portfolio of just companies I like that I think are undervalued. Thoughts on Fisker, FSR, another US-based EV play. This is looking pretty strong. In a certain way, it kind of looks like Lucid. It shoots up, it takes a breather, it's basing at 19. We're fighting back, trying to get this breakout at 22. If this can break, I'm then watching the recent relative high of 2360. And from there, you actually might be testing the all-time high. FSR is looking very strong right now. But I mean, it really does seem like EV, like Tesla, also looking good. Lucid, also looking good. For the past 3 weeks, I've been saying Lucid. Like, I don't know how to be more clear about my bullishness on Lucid right now. I think Lucid, if it can get above 56, we're testing 63. Bullish on Lucid. It seems like these US-based EV plays, excluding Rivian, that one, well, it was good at first. That went nuts. But the ones that have been trading for a bit longer are all looking pretty strong. What do I think on ICUP? What's going on, MLev? Have you checked out Illuvium Coin? It's an NFT game that has a lower supply than Bitcoin. Will be changing the world of gaming. It's East staked. I still have those East staked. Shout out Counselor Murray. I'll have to write this down. I actually haven't heard of this one. Illuvium Coin. Illuvium Coin. Got it. Wrote it down. I'll check that out. Shout out Counselor. Sharks. Okay, I don't know what that means. What is this one? Thoughts on RELI. Seems to be doing a whole bunch of nothing there. Just no established trend. If there is a trend, it's actually slightly downward. But just remember, like you're pointing out that it has a high short interest. A high short interest alone doesn't really mean much. You also need the price action. If anything, the price action is going the opposite way. I want to be more clear about this. Just having a high short interest does not mean it's a good play. It might be one of your prerequisites, like a filter or something on your checklist. But this, I just don't see a nice moving chart at all. Morning Ape Sith Lord. I just started trading options yesterday using a paper account and bought a call option for Prague with a strike price of 4 December 17th. Thoughts? Also, any advice on increasing knowledge in options? $4 a law December 17th. I like that. I like that, especially with the patent news now. Prague still has quite a bit of enthusiasm. I like that play. And I very much applaud you for starting with a paper account. That's a great way to get going. AMC to 420.69. Shout out. What's a realistic for AMC December? Sorry if that's already covered. Signed on late. I assume you're talking about a realistic price. When it comes to AMC and GME, I've never, for months now, like this game of price predictions of like, oh, like where will it be in this time frame? I don't know. I play it from level to level, so I think in a certain way it should be like agnostic of a time frame. Like I just play from level of support to resistance to the next level. If resistance breaks, all right, we move up to the next tranche. If support breaks, all right, we move down to the next tranche. I'm not really putting it. I don't even know how I would put a time frame on it of like, oh, this price is likely in December, but it isn't in like February, like that type of thing. I think it becomes extremely difficult putting a time and a price together. Maybe someone has better methodology than I do, but for me, just seeing what happened between May and June, it was kind of moving, and then out of nowhere, it shot from 14 to 72 in the like span of a week and a half. So if anything, it just shows me that out of nowhere, things can happen very, very rapidly. Thoughts on Snap over gapping up again? Can't tell if the whales are accumulating or just consolidating. On Snap. I mean, it's at support. You very much want Snap to hold 48. Snap going below 48 tells me you'll be seeing 43, maybe potentially 37, maybe even 34. Snap is at support. You want it to hold 48. You want there to be a lot of accumulation. Are they accumulating now? Well, yeah, a little bit, but then it comes to like you care about the degree of the accumulation, as in, is it going to bounce off of 48 and recapture 52 basically? Snap, it's a worthwhile play probably to watch right now. I don't know if there's like an obvious position to take on it, but be careful with it for sure. Have I heard of Fluffy Coin? I have not heard of Fluffy Coin. What's a real... All right, we did that. Shout out Rob, Alonzo, MLev, Counselor, Luz, LU, Lewins? I don't know how. I'm perfectly fine on Rumble. Oh, man. What are we doing? Why does YouTube have these problems? Whenever I see these types, like I don't get what's going on. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine elsewhere. This is a good time to remind you folks that on Twitch, Matt_Kohrs, and on Rumble, I'm Matt Kohrs. So if you prefer those platforms, check those out. They seem to have like less issues, at least as of recently. Ryan, hey coach, my kids want me to do the chip challenge. Is the Cowboys don't get the NFC championship this year? How much can I expect my ass to bleed after? Ryan, actually following the chip challenge, I had no like stomach digestive things of like any noteworthy value. I really didn't. I would just say my only tip for that is this: it's very, very spicy, but that goes away like, I don't know, in 20-30 minutes. The issue for me in like the latter half of doing that hour after the hot chip challenge was just actually stomach pain. And the reason I had more stomach pain was because I didn't know I was doing the hot chip challenge and my stomach was in no way coated. So make sure you have like a coated stomach. Make sure there's food in your stomach, and also make sure you have Tums readily available. Recently saw a fantasy GameFi project called BSC Mithril trend briefly after hitting CMC. Would like to know your thoughts. I don't know about it, Gerard. I would have to look into it. BSC Mithril. All right, I'll check that out. I'm actually curious. I myself have not really played any like NFT crypto based games. What's your favorite ones? What's the most popular like crypto games going on right now? Because for me to like, I guess, look into it and play it, it probably makes the most sense to start with the most popular ones. So NFT games, crypto burning games, like anything that's like in that. And I know there's like ones that are becoming very popular. What's your favorite? What's your most popular? Let me know. Blankos, Decentraland, Axie, Blankos, Alien Worlds, Sandbox, OnlyFans, Decentraland. So I'm seeing Axie and Blankos the most. Just getting on good morning thoughts on Prague. Prague's having a great day. It got a new patent to count, like, what is it? Nucleic acid molecules. So some big brain scientific thing going on there. Crypto midday slump stream equals more views, but my own personal NFA belief is that a few weeks you'll be covering GME and AMC bell to bell. Hey, if I'm covering AMC and GME bell to bell, that means something absolutely absurd is happening, and I more than welcome that. I think we all more than welcome that. Is AMC a dead cat now? I personally don't think so. I mean, with the developments of now having, a dead cat, that's crazy to call it a dead cat when it's about to have the best movie of the entire year, and it's in the world of NFTs. It's accepting more crypto as payment. The tides are very much turning in a fundamental sense on AMC. To call it a dead cat, I guess everyone's like entitled to their own opinion. I just vehemently disagree with that opinion. Same with GME. It's both of these companies are up a considerable percentage on the year. How can you call? Let's look at this. AMC on the 1 year or year to date is up 1,600%, and GME is up 950%. If that's a dead cat, I'll take all the dead cats I could possibly get. 1,600% and 950%. Like, these people who are naysayers and they're like, it's dead, it's not going in. Like, it's up a lot. It's up a huge amount. It seems like a weird amount of fear mongering. Matt, how's it that shorts covered on Prague and there wasn't a relevant price move? Was 620-ish pop it? You have to look at how many shares were short and then also the volume. We traded a magnitude more than the shares that were short, so they theoretically could have covered into that 620. And did some cover into it? Yeah. Did all of them cover into it? No. But you have to look at the shares that were out on loan compared to the trading volume, and they had the opportunity to get out, and some of them used it to get out, but not all of them did. All right, Prague going to 350. AMC just keeps getting stronger. Time, people. I agree with that. I don't know about you, whoever you are listening right now. I am particularly supportive of AMC and GME. I have both. I'm long on both. I own shares in both. I have made hundreds, if not thousands of hours of content supporting both. I don't think there's a person on this planet who has made more content in support of AMC or GME this year. I really, if there is, it's someone that I've apparently never heard of, which would be weird if they've made that much content. I like them both. And if you like one more than the other, okay, cool. If you like them both, also cool. If you don't like either, also cool. We'll talk about Prague. We'll talk about SHIB. There's like this weird tribalism going on. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed it. Maybe I just like take it too much to heart. But ever since the NFT announcement on Sunday, from Sunday midday until now, these like GameStop purists and GameStop maxis, they're just like pissing a lot of people off. The amount of people who are like, they're mad that AMC is doing NFTs. They're mad about like, I don't know what they're mad about. They're just like purely enraged people. And it like this concept of being like a purist in whatever you're in, I don't really understand it. I don't get it. And I'm just seeing so much like hatred spew from GameStop purists specifically to AMC, and it blows my mind. If you don't like AMC, cool, don't buy AMC, go buy more AMC. But to act like this move into crypto is a bad move, like it's insane. It's ridiculously insane. Is Lucid moving right now? Lucid is on the move. All right, which one has less volume? 174, 3. Yeah, we're going to check out Lucid for a bit. Lucid's crushing it. Buy AMC GME while you can. Cheap. Follow the smart money. Lucid is moving. Thoughts on Wonderland? I like it. Bullish. Lucid. I don't know much about Fluffy Coin. What did you think happens in January? Many people reach their 1 year mark. Do you think it'll be a sell-off because of capital gains? No, I think people who got into it weren't in it just because they're like, oh, I want to like pay less tax on it. I think they're supportive of what AMC and or GME symbolically mean, depending on when they did or didn't get out. Or I don't think that's going to influence when they do or don't get out. I think they got in. I don't think really this capital gains thing was like on people's minds. I don't think we're going to see some sort of mass sell-off when we're at the 1 year mark, especially because I think a lot of the purchasing actually happened afterwards, after January, especially like right now with like, if we take AMC or GME, and if you took the date that people got in listening to this stream right now, I'd be willing to bet that it's past late January. I bet some of you got in late January, but a lot of people, even me, like I've been buying throughout it. So you get the tax benefit a year from whatever that purchase is. So it's not from your first purchase. Like your first purchase gets the benefit when that time's up, but like you're almost setting multiple year-long clocks. So since I've myself have bought AMC and GME past January, I have to wait till like the newest dates, but I don't think that's going to be on like, I don't think that'll be a driving factor for many people. I think many people are in this because they are in some combination looking for MOAS and true market reform. And I don't think they're like, oh, okay, I saved myself what, 15% on taxes. Yeah, we have May, March, people are in February. So it's spread out. Like, I don't think there's like a particular like week or month really where like a high majority of apes did their purchasing. I think it's been spread out through the entire year. Thoughts on Jasminecoin? I don't know much about Jasminecoin. Terry, shout out. All right, if we look at some of the charts here, I wanted to bring this up to point out the next support. So we have the low from October 27th, 28th, and 29th right here around 34.50. There is actually, we're kind of at support right now, 35.50. So it could just bounce here. So let me mark out these two just so you know the technical areas. 35.60 and 34.50 are the two levels of support I'm watching on AMC. In terms of GME, the support is 196.50. Definitely watching that. 196.50 for GME. GME at 198.50. Prague messing around at 350. Lucid ripping. Lucid. I've been publicly supportive of Lucid like daily now for 3 weeks. This is to me, this was like a layup of a trade, a very obvious money-making opportunity. High odds, not guaranteed, but the odds were definitely in favor of being bullish. All right, it's almost time to hop to the 3 minute. SHIB still hanging out at 51.50, crushing it there. So this AMC thing of previously we saw people not buy the dip, and now we have new people saying apparently just not to buy because it helps like with synthetics. It's just so wrong. It's denying any understanding of supply and demand. No economist, no Wall Street person would ever agree that. What were the two statements? The one statement was buying the dip is equivalent to shorting. I hope you all know that is wrong, because in fact, it's actually the exact opposite. And then the newest statement is buying at all is like detrimental. Folks, this isn't even an AMC thing. This is an understanding of how markets work. If there's more willing buyers, if there's more buying aggression, price goes up. If there's more willing sellers, more selling aggression, price goes down. The fact that we are 11 months into this, almost December, and we're fighting about, or like there's still these misunderstandings of inherently of how a market works, of just like supply and demand. I really do find it disheartening, because the people who are spewing that absolutely incorrect rhetoric, they just don't know what they're talking about. They clearly don't know what they're talking about. You have people who, like, I don't know. And it's frustrating to me, because obviously I feel like highly protective of this community. And when you have various people who have followings and they're just giving out information, it's not an opinionated thing. And that's the frustrating thing. It's okay when people have a difference of opinions. I hope that they're an informed opinion, and I hope that there's something that is there to back it up. That's fine. You can have a different in opinions, but to literally just give out incorrect factual information like that, like could just be fact checked. I don't know. It's so incredibly disheartening, because like I know they're leading people astray and that type of stuff. I don't know. What you need to know, factual. This is not a Matt Kohrs opinion. This is going to be backed up by logic, economists, and Wall Street. Buying the dip is not equivalent to shorting, and buying in a general sense is not helping shorts. It is buying is buying. Like that's how prices go up, is you have willing buyers. Those are like the two axioms that, I guess if we don't agree on those axioms of just how supply and demand works, I don't know. Like we have to go back to like before step one. No selling. There's none buying. There's a lot of buying and selling on AMC and GME. AMC, the volume today is 4.56 million shares, which means 4.56 million shares have been bought, and simultaneously 4.56 million shares have been sold. Look into Jasmine, old cell from Sony that I heard working on physical products. Jasmine. All right, Devin. Happy to. Jasmine. Let me write this down. Jasmine. Have we officially broke down out of the wedge? Yeah, we actually broke down out of the wedge yesterday. That was in my wrap-up video. We've been out of, well, technically 3 days now. AMC is currently at support. Similar to late October, early November, we're looking for it to be a fake-out breakdown. But obviously breaking down from a wedge, that's not good. Like, no one can spin that this price action like a bearish breakdown. Like, you can't just sit here and be like, oh, somehow that's good. No, it's not good. Obviously, it has a opportunity to catch itself, which we're all hoping for. But clearly, we would rather like a breakout and a rip. Did I say 320? I meant 350. Let's go, Prague. What's going on, meme maker? Prague to the moon. Prague's having a great day. The market is obviously reacting very well to the patent news. SHIB taking a little bit of a breather. When it comes to crypto, I really don't use this small of a time frame to make like many of my trading decisions. But I would say from a technical point and a key psychological point, 50 is a nice support level. Check SLP. Looks like it's selling off. This resistance is turning into support. I'd kind of be watching this area. If it doesn't hold where it's at right now, this is what I'd be watching. But obviously there's some selling going on. I don't know much about this company at all. Package software. Great push. Selling. Maybe it catches. You want that higher low and the bounce off of that. But must have done very well on earnings because it had quite the run after it. When are you going to show your earnings from YouTube? So this whole time I've been thinking about doing it the way like all other finance streamers do it, or not streamers, finance like YouTubers, is they do it at the end of the year. It's like, this is what I made in the year. I mean, I've been following people such Meet Kevin, Andre Jake, Graham Stephan, and all of them, they just do it at the end of the year. Like, I think it's a little weird to do it. I was like, hey, here's what I made in the first like successful 10 months of my YouTube career. Like, why wouldn't I just do it like at the year and beyond it? I mean, I have no issue. I mean, it's folks, what people seem to really care about, like my super chats, that's out there. That's you. The website is Playboard. You can see my Playboard numbers. What is Playboard? I mean, you can. This is not like a hidden thing. Playboard. Here, let me go find my account. Yeah, here's mine. Playboard, Matt Kohrs. And then you can look up whoever you want. Subscribers, views, super chats, videos, all of this stuff. Like rate, dislike rate, comment rate. This is public information. You see, I don't know, it's out there. It's not like hidden, like no one's really hiding it. But beyond that, the fact that that's out there publicly, and on top of the amount of people who are, do you know how many like DMs I've gotten and messages? They're like, dude, we don't care. Like no one, I don't know. I like talking about it because I'm a fan of business. There's so many people who are like, oh, like what's it like to be a streamer? What's it like to be a YouTuber? What's the economics of it? I think it's a cool business to discuss, but that's, I guess, why my mindset is like, I just didn't care because I was like, oh, like maybe I could teach someone about this business because it's like kind of a new business. And I like sharing. I like people being successful, whether you want to get in the world of finance, whether you want to get in the world of streaming, whether you want to get into the world of financial streaming. I think it's a cool business. I really, really do. I think it's changing media. I think it's changing the way we think of finance. I think it's changing the way we think of markets. But people are very, very obsessed with it. Folks, it's no secret. I make money. Like YouTubers make money, and I am so eternally grateful for this opportunity. And people get mad, like someone like it. The way I look at it is it's very, I almost use it as a metric of like, I make more money if I provide more value. So for me, it's a game of like, okay, can I provide more value? How good can I be? How much value can I provide to all of you? Whether it's through market education, whether it's through silly rants, whether it's through my dumb comments, like my jokes, like it's all value. Whether it's educational value, entertainment value, values value. And I just use it as like, oh, okay, like I use it as a metric. In 1 month, did I make more or less? Did I provide more or less value? That's how I kind of view it. But I don't know. I could make a whole video, but it's there. It's out there. It's public. If you are so singularly obsessed with my super chats, you can see the number if you want to know the number. And if you like find it abhorrent that I have super chats, don't send me super chats then. The same people who are pissy about super chats, I just like wonder how you treat like, I guess, restaurant staff. Are you like, I really appreciate that BLT, but I'm just not going to tip you on that one. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get the number. I don't get the mindset. And I know a lot of you thinking here, especially the mature people, you're like, oh, it's jealousy. It's unbridled jealousy from like lunatics out there. And it is. I don't know. I guess even if I somehow had the thought process of like, oh, I'll just not do that. Well, now I'm not, just because like I'm not going to ever bow down to any crowd ever. Whenever there's like a mob mentality, I think that's like one of the most disgusting things that people do is bowing down to the crowd. Even if I had some like big secret plan of like, oh, I'm not going to do super chats anymore. Like, even if I had that, like something in the background, which I don't, I still have bills to pay. I still have things to do. I'm literally now not going to, just because people, like so many people, like it enrages them. And then I find it funny that it makes them even more mad. Like I do. I find it deeply comedic to see that they're having like the temper tantrum of a 2-year-old. And then I'm like, oh, like, let's just make them more. It's fun. It's fun to troll those people. So why would I ever stop that at that point? Like, I tip at the casino when I make money, and I tip here when I make money. Appreciate all you do. Shout out, Patrick. No need to show us your YouTube income. They're just trying to spread FUD and divide us. Keep up the good work. Third World Ape from El Salvador. Shout out. El Salvador, the country of Bitcoin. I like it. Can you talk about AMC and maybe help new apes feel a little bit better about the current price situation? You could articulate better than me. Yeah, so for the current situation, my thought process is Adam Aaron was with Liz Clayman yesterday talking about how the current metrics for the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, were the like record-breaking metrics in the league of Avengers Endgame. Like, I see absolutely no reason to get out before the best movie of the year. The best movie of the year, I believe the date is December 16th. And of course, we'll get the metrics like after the first weekend, and then we'll really know how they're doing like on the next fiscal quarter. But even if you weren't in AMC for the ape movement, even if you weren't in it for the MOAS, if you were just in AMC because you like the technical situation and you're curious about what's going on in like a shorter term swing trade, let's take like that small like subset, like a small time frame. I don't see why I would ever get out 2 weeks before the best movie of the year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like Adam Aaron, like they're in the world of NFTs. Things are clearly going on in the background. They're not just sitting there hoping like a movie does well. We have a series, a litany of movies that are expected to perform extremely well, on top of the fact that they, as a leadership team, Adam Aaron and his board are getting into the world of popcorn. They're accepting crypto as payment. They're doing NFTs. They're NFL, UFC fights, concerts. The list goes on and on and on. Like every couple weeks, there's another new announcement. So when I pair all of that with the best movies of the year, I just Spider-Man, Matrix. There's I think that new Top Gun. I don't think that's coming out in December. I think that got pushed a little bit. In Kanto or something like that. Like it's just, I don't know, like to me, but that's my own thesis. Like that's, maybe you disagree with it. Maybe you're seeing the situation a little bit differently. I certainly don't. I if anything, see quite a bit of excitement and quite a bit of really cool things going on in the back end that I'm happy. You look/sound awkward dancing around this. Look/sound awkward. I just showed it. I'm not dancing around anything. But thanks for the money. Thanks for that super chat. All right, SLP. Shout out to AMC. Prague given patent approval for game-changing technology and science, and shorts have increased 5.5% today alone. So remember, that's relative to yesterday. Let me upload Ortex on Prague. Yeah, it's up 5.5. So the estimated short interest right now in Prague is 9%. So remember, like, you're talking about the percentage change of a percentage. It's absolutely none of anyone's business what he or I or anyone makes at their job. No one's coming to your job demanding how much you make. You'll all have major issues if this matters to you. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I wish someone could like actually articulate to me like why it matters to them. Like someone who's like, they care so much. Like, I just want to know like why. I find it so, I guess I just find it interesting of like, that's the fascination. I find it interesting that a subset of this community is more obsessed with what YouTubers and influencers make and Twitter drama rather than what's happening in Wall Street. They would rather spend their time fighting with people and like discussing influencers and causing this drama, this Twitter click, that Twitter click. It's like, don't we all still have things to learn about the market? Aren't you curious about the unknown non-public risk models of the DTCC that led to January? Aren't you curious about the interactions of Virtu and Citadel and why Citadel actively gave up market share to Virtu in late May before the AMC run in early June? There's so many interesting things going on. What about, I don't know, just like even the history of dark pools, some dark pools becoming some lit exchanges, about why we have the lit exchanges that we do. Why is the New York Stock Exchange the biggest one? The interplay of prime brokers. Who are good prime brokers? Who are bad prime brokers? What prime brokers create the most FTDs? Why is there PDT? What government officials are still supportive of payment for order flow and PDT? Who are they being paid off by? Those are all very interesting questions to me. Very interesting questions. What's even more interesting is still like the psychology of this group. How did we get to where we are? To me, in my own humble opinion, those are the things that I think are worthwhile to like dive into and wrap our head around. And derivatives, like there's just so many cool things that we could all be learning. And they're like, what happened on Twitter? Like it's so sophomoric. It's so juvenile. It just feels like sometimes it feels like some of the dumbest people have the loudest voices. And like, to me, that's so just endlessly frustrating. That's exactly what it is. Sometimes the dumbest people have the loudest voices. And then to onlookers who might be thinking about joining the community, whether it's your average person, a wealthy person, a person with political influence, a person with regulatory influence, any of those, they see that and they're like, wait, what? This community? Like this is what they do? Congrats on the success. What you are doing is work. The Bible says a worker is worthy of his wage. I appreciate that, Aaron. Some people have no drive to improve their life. Seeing someone succeed makes them uncomfortable, so they have to tear it down. Appreciate you. Shout out Tabasco Dave. Have you hit the try new Ortex trading view integrated? You know, I hit it once and then I wasn't messing around with it too much. I was going to spend some of the time this weekend, like kind of getting used to that new Ortex Drake. I saw that and I didn't try any of the integration quite yet. How do I feel about Crow? So crypto.com's here, let's go over to crypto. It's been running like a madman. It went from 25 ever since it got listed, and now it's at 71. I'm curious if it's going to base at 65. Now, to be explicitly clear, I have no Crow. This is crypto.com's, I guess, token. And it shot up. It took a breather. I want to see if it can base here, and you're going to look for that turn back around. Once again, I have no position. If I create a position, I'll 100% let you know. But I'm looking for that break above 80 or 80 cents. Yeah. 80 cents on Crow, maybe 77, somewhere between 77 and 80 cents. I want to see if we can regain that off of this support. I think it's been doing well lately, mainly because of how much exposure crypto.com has been getting from the public, or to the public. I mean, between getting the naming rights to the Staples Center, I think a lot of influencers has been joining with them. There's commercials. Same thing with FTX. I'm curious about that. How many of you have heard of FTX? How many of you use FTX as your exchange? That's another one that has clearly been putting quite a bit of money into getting its name out there. I think I've seen it advertised on various like sporting events. Athletes have been picked up with it. I haven't seen too many influencers really with FTX yet in terms of like this sphere, but definitely like actors, athletes, and like advertising on sporting events. Speaking of the Bible, where's Kinky Kong? My boss says hollow vessels make the loudest sound. In other words, stupid people speak the loudest. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out, Jamie. Don't share income because immature people pressure you. Listen to the people that believe in you and hope for your success. The value is in what you do. Don't let the simple minds bring you down. Thanks for everything, buddy. Oh, I very much appreciate it. And I very much agree. Whether right or wrong, like, I guess kneeling down to like mob rule, I think is one of the worst decisions an individual person, a family, or a society can make. Mob rule is exactly that. It's mob rule. And I don't know. I just see no reason. In a certain way, you're kind of giving up like a little aspect of your brand, because like that's not your brand then. You're just doing what like the mob tells you to do. And in a certain way, it's like going against yourself. I just don't see it. I blame the darn fapping hedgehog, not a hedge fund. That picture's always so funny. We need full disclosure of your eating habits. Thus far today, I've had a Sudafed, 2 Dayquil, 3 emergency gummies, and 2 cups of green tea. That is my full dietary disclosure for thus far for today. A lot of you might be like, whoa, that's like super healthy. But others of you might be concerned. New apes don't know who Chair is. Tell them also we want Coach Kohrs coming back to the show. So Ape here. Chair is the real star of the show, just keeping us going. What is going on with the SPY and IWM today? This cannot be a good scenario. IWM going red. SPY actually had a nice pop there, but now I guess coming back down. If you're wondering really what's going on with the AMC, check out IWM. AMC is the biggest equity within the Russell 2000. It is in rare circumstances that they deviate from each other. The correlation between these two would be pretty high. The people who come on your petty stuff like this clearly have never been popped in the mouth as a kid. I blame their parents. First time super chat and respect your work. Could you take a look at Stephen Farrelly's Seeking Alpha AMC article? He makes me mad. Stephen Farrelly Seeking Alpha. Who is this guy? Stephen Farrelly. Farrelio? AMC Seeking Alpha. All right. Today, Robinhood. Grasping at straws to validate its market cap and keep Ape Nation interested. It looks like AMC's share price wasn't consolidating in the 50 to 60 range as shares have decreased 37.6% since Matt Kohrs and Trey Collins appeared on Fast Money. Hey, that's me. Mom, I made it. I got this guy. All head, no neck. All head, no neck, Steven. Since Matt Kohrs and Trey Collins. I think investors who jumped in on the trade need to look through the financials and give the chart another look because in the short term, there aren't many catalysts. Aren't many catalysts? I mean, I don't know what he means by short term, but aren't many catalysts. I would consider 2 weeks to be short term. And I would also consider a catalyst to be the best movie of the year. And the demand for the movie / NFT of Spider-Man was so much that it basically brought the website to a halt. Accepting cryptocurrencies could just be smoke and mirrors as people invest in Bitcoin because they believe it is an appreciating asset. People aren't going to use it to buy movie tickets. Yeah, but also there's other cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin. AMC has negative shareholder equity on the books, generates negative FCF, loses money, and has diluted shareholders. This is not a recipe for capital appreciation. So with these actual aspects right here, they're factually accurate. All right, so we don't know if they're going to do additional dilution. This is like water on the bridge. It may happen in the future, but remember right now there's not many shares that are even authorized for that. Loses money. Previously, it has lost 120 million a month. Then it dropped to 40. It is currently at 10, and they're actually looking to go positive this quarter. Shareholder aggregate generates negative F. That's what they're working on, though. That's what I don't get is like these things were true a year ago. Actually, probably to a more extreme degree before this was even a thing, and AMC was trading at $2. And now they're improving in the right way. But if this guy's sole argument is that we're trading above fundamental value, well, yeah, we are trading. Like no one here is arguing that AMC is currently trading at its fair fundamental value. It's above its fundamental value, but then it very quickly gets into the philosophical debate of where does value come from? Value comes from many things, and right now there's extra value similar to Tesla of a lot of people looking to where the company could go. It's an old school way to evaluate a stock, almost like a lagging indicator of like, okay, here's what it did the last quarter, here's what it's doing now. And as the new age of investors and traders have showed up, it's become kind of a battle of the old versus new, where a lot of new people are looking at where could it go. And I'm using Tesla as an example because that's where a lot of its value is from. It's from a very enthusiastic supporter base looking for the things that Tesla will disrupt in the future, and they're betting on the success in that. With AMC, you have fundamental breakdowns like this, and they're saying, yeah, it's fundamentally overvalued. It's like, okay, I don't disagree with you, but I'm also looking at the extra value from the potential of a squeeze, the enthusiasm of the supporter base, the willingness of the board to listen to its investors and shareholders and improve the trajectory of the company. And at its most inherent level, I think that fundamental value, yeah, you can look at it. I pay attention to it because I know it's like, look, as I pay attention to the fundamentals improving, it's lessening the case for the bears. It's weakening the short thesis. But for me, I'm not in it for the fundamentals. If the fundamentals improve that much, okay, yeah, maybe I'll stick around for the fundamentals. But I'm in it for a myriad of different reasons, such as the enthusiastic supporter base, the media attention, and the fact that I strongly believe something nefarious happened between January and now, that I think if we keep pulling on that thread, it'll become untethered. And when I just see this like piss poor stock bashing, the more and more I see this stock bashing, the more I believe we're getting closer to something. So if this guy, Steven, is like exclusively trying to make that it's fundamentally expensive, okay, it is fundamentally expensive. But when you add in all those other things that provide value, like this is a classic, you're looking at the financials. It's a very classic fundamental breakdown. There is a time and place for that. I think there are many stocks that you could look at a fundamental breakdown, such as I don't know, UNH, United Healthcare Group, the biggest insurance provider in the US. It's a Goliath of a health insurance company. That's a great one to do a fundamental breakdown of what's going on in the world of insurance. How is the company performing? Another solid one would be like Microsoft. But the new age of trader, the new age of retail, the age of apes, the dawn of the apes have changed it that you cannot simply apply a fundamental breakdown to every equity in the market. You can't apply it to the options market. You can't apply it to the futures market. You can't always apply, even right now, SHIB. SHIB is trading at what? I don't know. It's worth billions and billions of dollars. Doge, the same thing. There are many old school analysts who are not changing with the times. And whenever I see these full-on fundamental breakdowns of AMC, to me, that's an inkling. It's showcasing that it's an old school analyst who is not understanding that there's a new age. This is that common saying, there used to be bulls and bears, and now there's bulls, bears, and apes. Social sentiment, social support is extremely, extremely important. And we'll see how this is going to, I guess, play out. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's wrong. What else did he say about me? This is on June 17th, Matt and Trey were on Fast Money, and Melissa Lee asked them both the number one reason when trading hard. And Trey answered the question he's indicated was new ways to make money. The chart was bullish as it was consolidating 50 to 60 range and showed blah, blah, blah. Well, what did I say? Matt Kohrs appeared on Fast Money. How the apes in addition. I guess my reason wasn't good enough to make this breakdown. Well, I mean, I don't have the time to read through this all right now. Wait, what's his disclosure? Or either stock owner, I'm not receiving compensation from seeking alpha. I'm not invested. I am not an investment advisor or professional. This article is my own personal opinion that is not meant to be recommendation. All right. AMC is a brand that has been in business for more than a century, and the current call isn't coming anytime soon. AMC made it through the worst of the pandemic, and I believe that it will be in business for decades to come. Okay. With that in mind, it doesn't mean that this is a good investment today. See, and that's the difference. Right there, a good investment. Investment means long term. We're not sitting here talking about investment. An investment is you buying whatever, United Healthcare, and you come back 10, 20 years later. There's a good chance if you're paying attention to me, to Trey, to AMC, to GME, you're in this for really basically a MOS. You're playing the game to see if a squeeze happens. That's not an investment. It's apparently now it's becoming a long-term swing trade, but it's not a long-term investment. So in all honesty, I don't know if I even disagree with this guy. We're talking about two different things. He's talking about an investment. We're talking about a trade where shorts got trapped and we're seeing if they're going to get squeezed. It's two different things. AMC had a tough time generating profit prior to the pandemic, and their war chest is being depleted. Their war chest is literally the biggest war chest it's ever been. It went from 2 billion down to 1.8 billion, but the 2 billion was the biggest it's ever had. So that's a little bit of a misdirection there. I don't believe accepting cryptocurrencies is anything more than a gimmick that could backfire. Branching out into AMC branded popcorn has become a great strategic move, but the fruits of that labor will take time to mature. Today, AMC has negative equity, losses, blah, blah, blah. We know they're improving that. And the earnings call, they said that's their biggest goal is to be positive. I think the trade in AMC has been over, and anyone still in the trade will continue to see their position shrink. If you made money, congratulations, but it's time to really evaluate where AMC can go. AMC has declined 37.6% since June 17th. Interview CNBC Fast Money with Matt Kohrs and Trey Collins. I'm half of those people. I'm 50% of those people. Interesting. Well, with it, it's just two different pages. I don't even know how to, I guess, appropriately respond to something that is pointing out like a fundamental long-term investment thesis when I don't think anyone has been here saying this is the best time for a long-term fundamental investment in AMC. It's the game of, are the shorts going to get squeezed or not? I hope that they do. I hope we can prompt true market reform, but and this has been discussed and articulated months ago. I have already come to the point on AMC and GME. I am happy with my position, and certain opportunities I add to my position, but I am willing to ride it to zero. That's for me. That's my own decision. That is by no means appropriate for you. You have to take care of your own financial situation, yourself, your family. But for me, where I'm at in my life and this crusade I'm on with AMC and GME and market transparency and fairness, I am willing to let a lot of money go all the way to zero to prove a point. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, hey, I can risk X amount, and if it hits this, you have to get out. Okay, that's fine. That's you. That's your situation. You have to do what's appropriate for you. But I've said this, and I'm going to stick to that word. I'm in this. I'm in this. I'm in this. I am on this crusade, and I'm not just going to arbitrarily pull out on my crusade for market transparency at some arbitrary price level. I thought I read a few months ago that while hedge funds don't want AMC price to go much higher, they also can't let it much go too low. Is that true? I guess I would have to know some of the details of what's going on there. Like I would have to know like that reasoning. And like, I don't know if we can think of all hedge funds as like a monolith. Like different hedge funds have different goals. Do you have any VGX? I don't. But I want to look a little bit more into it, and that's Voyager's specific one. It's an amalgamation of lack of intelligence, jealousy, and pettiness. False, the dumbest people have the loudest voice most of the time. It's because folks see their dumb comments and bubble them up. Normal people, we also find them dumb. Scheduled maintenance. SHIB is to begin trading on Kraken 10 a.m. to noon Eastern. This is a good consolidation since trading hasn't started yet. I like that. Dill spitting some facts. So is Kraken down right now? Is anyone on Kraken? Is it currently down for the maintenance to get rocking with SHIB? AMC FTDs available. Let's reload this. The most recent FTD report was pretty small. I wonder if this one will be different. Is this the update, or are these the numbers we already knew about? This is the update. So as of November 12th, we have 23,000, which is obviously a considerable drop off from what you saw in June. What this tells me is, first of all, when it comes to failure to deliver FTDs, there previously on both AMC and GME, there was quite a few. In AMC, there was a lot at the end of June. In GME, there was quite a bit in January. All naked shorts are an FTD, but not all FTDs are a naked short. So FTD is more of a generic term, and there are like quite a few things that can add to it, but naked short's a type of one. So that's why people talk about FTDs, because they're like, oh, like were their shares being synthetically sold? So with that, you could be like, well, hang on, why are there so many less right now? Because it's not like a cumulative thing. You don't add it up. You don't go like this day plus this day. The way like the price, like the ending price of a day, it's not like you add the prices up. It's like, where are we at in real time? Like how many are there? What's the price? Like you don't cumulatively add up price of like closing. Same thing with FTDs. You don't add them up. So with this is why I've been more so lately talking about, okay, we see the drop off in FTDs. So if some of the nefarious actions aren't playing out in such an easy setup of like a hedge fund going to a prime broker saying, hey, I want a short, and they're like, okay, and they let them short, and then they never find the shares. Obviously, that's not the case right now. So that's why I think it's much more likely that the action of what's going on is actually in the derivatives market, looking at deep in the money, out of the money calls and puts, and seeing some of the positions being created there to essentially hide FTDs. Because a lot of the time, for example, let's say you have market makers that a lot of people are buying, so market makers are selling, so they have a net negative position. To hide that net negative position, they could buy a bunch of calls. So right there, technically, that's not going to be a fail to deliver, because they're like, well, no, we're actually net neutral. Like, we have the shares if we need to transfer the shares, when in reality, it's synthetic through a call option. I don't mean synthetic as in a naked short. I mean, like, you're fictitiously showing that you're net neutral, when in reality, you're only doing that through the options market. So to me, when I see this drop off in FTDs in the equities market, it very much tells me that it's time to like seriously take a look into what's going on in the derivatives market. This is not a new statement. This is not groundbreaking. This is something that people have been really actually trying to point out since January. I remember reading Reddit posts as early as January of saying, whoa, this is crazy in the options market. But now that there is, I guess, less data points of interest in the equities market as it relates to FTDs, I hope that there's a big community effort to try to uncover what's going on in the derivative market. Hey Marcus, join later today because I'm on a flight. Shout out Dollar Chief. I see IWM Spy trying, but AMC not so much. You mind a quick reset overview on the status of Ortex? So yeah, with AMC and GME. So the short interest, the shorts increased today on AMC. They theoretically could have shorted up to 2.93 million shares today, when AMC has traded 8 million. So over 30% could theoretically be shares going short against AMC today. Short interest 16.27%, utilization 74. We got the new FTD report, relatively small, especially when you're comparing it to June. In terms of GME, let me do a quick reload to see if this is increased or decreased. Increased to 11.33%. They borrowed 129,000 against it today. In terms of the overall market, a little bit whippy, down, up, down, like kind of sideways, slightly positive, but kind of down. IWM was going down, just caught a breather. Let's hope that a push in the overall indices could help with AMC. AMC currently trading at 35.26. In terms of the bigger picture on AMC, I am mainly watching the low from October 27th, 28th, 29th. That's a major support. If it breaks below that, yeah, there is a chance for it to catch itself at 33.72. I find this to be worrisome because I think it could cause panic in more of the weak hand people. People who are seeing it. It could. I don't know. I don't know how the future will play out. I hope we don't even have to question how many strong hands and weak hands there truly are. I hope this is exclusively strong hands that are like, nope, we like this. We're gonna hold. We're gonna buy. But I find it more difficult when there's people out there in the community that are telling you not to buy dips and telling you to just straight out not buy. I hope people are not listening to them. Also, I think it's weird that they're trying to give that type of financial advice anyway. For me, I can tell you what I'm doing. I can tell you what I'm looking at. And I can also say, I just hope that, I hope we don't get here. But if we do get here, I hope that the hands remain strong and are not shown to be weak. Can I check out Prog's FTDs? Yes. Let me bring this up. All right, here are Progs. All right, so we have 875,000. The previous one was like around either 3 or 6 or 4 million right in here. So right now, 875,000 fails to deliver on Prog. Random, any non-financial YouTube channels you'd like to appear on? I think you'd be great on a movie channel like Dave McRae, WWAM, or Fandom Empire. Be fun. Oh, I think those would be awesome. I mean, ever since I started this, I've started consuming less YouTube, but outside of the world of finance, there's like a lot of channels that I'm definitely a fan of. I mean, all of those, I'm familiar with them. I think it'd be really, really fun. Of course, it would always be cool to do like I don't know. There's just so many YouTube channels. I think they're so creative, so cool. And some of them, I don't know where I would possibly fit in, but I don't know. A fanboy of many of the channels out there. Shout out Jason. Long time no chat. Thick boy. Good Thanksgiving. Had a great Thanksgiving. Hung out with my girlfriend's family. Completely real girlfriend's family. My real girlfriend's real family. Then I hung out with my family. And then I went down to Texas for a wedding. Great time. Great time. Great time. And then, oh, this is a good time for a reminder for all of you. Normal streaming week except for Thursday. Thursday, I have to take off. So tomorrow night, I'll be driving. I'm just getting like